Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather. I'm Joe Ellison.
And I'm Tiffany Lee. With possible winter weather on the way, electric cooperatives across the region are closely tracking the forecast and putting emergency response plans into action. Companies like Ozarks Electric ramp up staffing, bringing in extra crews, and keeping dispatch centers running 24/7 to monitor the grid in real time. This allows them to pinpoint outages and send crews out immediately.
Now, if conditions worsen, they can also call for mutual aid from other cooperatives across the country just to speed up any restoration efforts. They say the risk of outages depends on, of course, the type of precipitation that we could get.
Sometimes we have a wet snow event that weighs down the power lines that can cause outages. We also can see maybe a potential ice storm like we're looking at for this week, which can weigh down those lines. If we have heavy wind, we have what we call galloping lines that can cause those power lines to snap.
Well, when it comes to power lines, she says if you see a downed power line, stay within 30 feet away from it and call an electric company so crews can take care of it. Never try to do anything with a down power line yourself.
All right, let's check in with Stephen because of that weather this week. Let's see what it's looking like so far. Stephen?
Yeah, we're going to see cloud coverage increase throughout the day today ahead of those rain chances that are coming this evening, overnight into our Tuesday morning. It's important to keep an eye on the thermostat throughout this because if temperatures drop just below that freezing point, that's where we could quickly see cold rainfall drop to some freezing rain at that. Now, it's going to be very minor impacts, I believe, and overall, a lot of people going to just see that cold rainfall. Really, the area that we're focusing on is going to be across northwest Arkansas, especially in Madison and Carroll County, has the best chances of seeing some of that freezing rain coming down. Parts of Benton County, parts of Washington County will have also chances of seeing some of that freezing rain as well. But again, to reiterate, most everybody going to see that cold rainfall. Extreme parts of northwest Arkansas going to see some of that freezing rain mixing in, which could lead to some of those slick spots going into our Tuesday morning commute. So when we take a look at where the highest potential is going to be, again, highlighting Carroll and Madison County, but Benton and Washington County definitely still have a chance of seeing some type of accumulation when it comes to that ice. I think the worst case scenario is we see close to 1/10 or up to 1/4 inch of some of that ice in those counties, but most of northwest Arkansas, just be cautious of at least a thin glaze of some of that ice on the roadways going into your Tuesday morning. A few things to remember here, not only Tuesday, but Wednesday morning we'll have a chance of seeing more of that freezing rain. Another scenario, though, that we're going to see mostly just that cold rainfall, but if temperatures drop just below that freezing point, that's where we could see the transition. Northwest Arkansas over the next 7 days looks like this. Weather impact alert for Tuesday and Wednesday because both mornings have the chance of seeing not only that cold rainfall, but also the chances of some freezing rain mixing in there as well, which of course, if that happens, would lead to some slick spots across the roadways. Across the River Valley, mainly looking at just rain overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning's commute. But then once again on Wednesday morning's commute, we'll have mostly just some rain, but we do have that weather impact alert just in case we start to see a brief transition over into some freezing rain.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Well, flu numbers are on the rise in Arkansas, and it shows in the Department of Health's weekly viral respiratory disease report.
Yeah, showing that there were more than 2,400 confirmed flu cases in the state in 1 week between January 26th, February 1st. ADH reporting 9 flu-related deaths. And at the beginning of the year, the state saw 341 confirmed flu cases and no deaths.
With the spike in cases, those working in urgent care say a number of factors could be the cause.
Probably been around someone who has it, might have that slight throat tickle, kind of throat irritation, giving you a cough, and you were in vicinity of them. You just inhaled it. It's a respiratory virus.
For some, the virus can cause high fever and even pneumonia, and doctors say the slightest symptom should be taken seriously.
Literally, you just kind of like wake up, and it's just kind of there. All of a sudden, it's from 0 to 100. You've got this fever, 100 plus. You've got this cough, the muscle aches and chills. Those are all the symptoms that it's time to go check.
Well, officials recommend seeing your primary care doctor, heading to the hospital if flu-like symptoms persist, especially with the recent spike in cases. Well, the 13-lined ground squirrel, a species rarely seen in Arkansas, has sparked curiosity after a recent sighting near the state's border.
Wildlife officials are now asking residents to be on the lookout. 5 News reporter Jose Carranza has the story.
From Canada to the Texas coast, the 13-lined ground squirrel is found in the prairies of North America, but rarely in Arkansas. Blake Sassy, a non-game mammal expert, says a recent discovery has raised new questions.
Someone had posted a picture of a 13-line ground squirrel taken near Branson, actually back in 2020, in a spot that's about 20 miles north of the Arkansas line, which got us interested in the possibility of maybe they did extend into Arkansas.
The 13-line ground squirrel is often mistaken for a chipmunk, but there are key differences.
13 lines kind of running across her back compared to the 5 you'd see on a chipmunk. And one of the other differences is that some of the lines on the 13-line ground squirrel are more like disjunct dots, instead of a solid line. So it's a lot more broken pattern that makes them look differently. And plus, the ground squirrel lives in a little bit more open areas while chipmunks tend to live in forests.
There's no confirmed modern record of these squirrels in Arkansas. In the 1900s, a University of Arkansas biologist said they were in northwest Arkansas, but those reports weren't verified. Before that, bones were found in archaeological sites dating 800 to 1,000 years.
The bones from this species that were found in archaeological sites were mostly in caves where they were dug up by archaeologists. But I wouldn't say we really know why they were there. It could have been something that Native Americans used as food, or they could have just happened to have died in those sites and gotten buried with everything else.
For now, if these squirrels are in Arkansas, Sassy says they're hibernating underground and won't emerge until spring. Covering news where you live, Jose Carranza, 5 News.
Sassy also says if you believe that you've come across a 13-line ground squirrel, grab a photo to post it on iNaturalist.
You can also email the Game and Fish Commission to discuss your discovery. Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather. Catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more.
Have a great day.